All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Leverage Podcast. Today, I've got Clifton Muckenfuss on here. He is somebody we have known in our world for a handful of years. So I'm excited to open the doors to what he's doing these days and talk to us a little bit about, how he's growing his business, where he's focusing his time and energy on. He's one of the good dudes in the world, right? I can attest to that. So Clifton, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you make money.
Mike, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invitation. I wanted to first start by saying it's not necessarily what I do and how I make money. That's important. It's really who I am. Yeah. And so I think that's a better question to start with. And who I am is I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a high school football coach. But I'm also a coach and consultant to contractors, home service companies across the U.S. Outside of that, I also own two other companies. One we'll probably talk about here in a little bit because you guys have helped me, really take advantage of virtual professionals and using leverage to grow that company. But I own a relationship marketing company, Building Raving Fans, where we automate happiness. We've become known as the Gratitude Company. I also own a property management company with some real estate, but I wanted to start first by not so much what I do, but it's who I am. I think that really kind of shapes the conversation.
Yeah, and I actually would have expected that from you because that's just genuinely who you are, right? You're just who you are, a good dude, and you're passionate about people. You're passionate about pouring into people. I love the gratitude conversations around things. Again, that's who you are as well too. So I'm really excited to let our guests see different people, right? We have all kinds of flavors on this show, as you can well imagine, and so it's always good to get into those personalities a little bit, and right, and how you became who you are and a little bit about down those paths. So what's the biggest thing you're kind of focused on growing right now?
Yeah, right now, the thing that I'm really focused on is growing Building Raving Fans. Again, that's a relationship marketing agency. It's unlike your typical digital marketing agencies. It's not a paid agency. We really leverage technology to enhance human connection. And what does that mean? That's kind of like this fancy term or phrase for, hey, we make people feel good, right? Our proven frameworks and systems make contractors and home service companies make their clients feel good and appreciated, right? Again, at the heart of everything we do is love and gratitude. I want to share this really quickly, Mike.
Sure.
Mike, you and I are very different people. Now, we're similar, but we're different, right? We have different backgrounds, all kinds of things. Your wife and my wife, they're women, but they're different. But here's what's really cool, and I share this all the time with my staff who is all in the Philippines, but I share this with them. Hey, we're very different, but we all have one thing that unites us together as people, and that is our desire to feel appreciated. And knowing that is a universal truth, our company, Building Raving Fans, taps into that. And we are the ghost in the background to help contractors and home service companies be that client experience superhero. So that's what I'm really excited about. Again, we use Sphere Rocket and virtual professionals to help us grow that company on a daily basis. But I'm super excited about that business. I know where that's headed. I know where we've come from. And I'm really excited about the future of that.
Well, I'd love to connect you definitely, as always, with anybody that we have in our ecosystem, right? And I bring that up because a lot of my podcast guests, right, are in that contractor, right, home services fields. And so, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in that Raving Fans, business model.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is what we know to be true, because before Building Raving Fans, I owned a construction company. I started it from zero experience, $0, nothing. And before that, I was literally cleaning toilets for a business. I started making $10 an hour, and on food stamps. And so I owned a construction company. I started a construction company again from zero, grew that, and then started that in 2010 and exited that business in 2021. But one thing that I know to be true, especially for contractors and home service companies, is this. Many of those business owners, they get a lead in, they go out, do a sales presentation, needs analysis, all those things, close a deal, sign a contract, schedule a job, build a job, send an invoice, collect money, and that's it. Disappear.
Yep.
And then they look up 6 months later and they're like, well, why hasn't Mrs. Jones called me back? Well, because Mrs. Jones doesn't even remember you exist. Right? And so we started our company because these were all the strategies that I was doing in my own business, which is every time we signed a contract, we sent a handwritten thank you card. Every time we finished a project, we sent a handwritten thank you card. Then we started showing up in their mailbox every 80 to 110 days with surprise and delight gifts, right? Then we entered them into long-term email nurture campaigns. And so we were dominating their inbox. We were dominating their mailbox. And we grew our business to a 60 to 62%, sometimes high years, 65% repeat and referral, because we wanted to dominate that way. And I didn't feel like paying Google and Meta and all these other agencies tons of money. And so we literally spent less than 1% on direct marketing.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so I took those strategies and built Building Raving Fans. That's the company.
Heck yeah, that's really awesome. How are you implementing AI or leverage into that model, right? And both are the same answer, right? I mean, both are the same question, different answers, right? Is you got a people component of it, and you probably have an AI component of it.
Absolutely, and so we're always thinking about how can we be more efficient? How can we be more nimble? Is really what I say to my team, and I ask them, hey, how are we utilizing the tools available to us to make us better? Now, I had to initially let my team know I'm not talking about using AI and tools to replace you. Yeah. We're talking about how to make you better, how to make you faster, right? More nimble. And so we're using a combination of, standard tools out of the box with high level. They got the AI Studio. We use Claude daily for analytics and reporting and things like that would otherwise take us a ton of time to go get data, analyze the data, make it a report that's fancy. So we use Claude, we use chat. So those are some of the AI tools, but the people component, right? Many people look at virtual assistants. I don't look at it that way. I tell my people, you guys are virtual professionals, right? You're human beings, not human doing, right? You are literally a virtual professional just thousands of miles away from where I'm sitting.
Sure.
Right? But we use them. I mean, they are amazing, truthfully. I've got a client success manager. I've got a marketing communications and AI specialist, and I've got a finance manager. And I always say this, those three amazing people literally help us make money while I sleep and go out and work on strategic vision casting and things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if we go back in March again to visit with your VAs, are you committed? Are you going to commit to me? You'll go with us?
Man, I absolutely. So the reason why I did not go this year is because, again, when we started this, who am I?
Yeah.
I coach high school varsity football. And so
okay.
We have spring practice in March. Now, knowing in advance, I can possibly get a pass for 2026.
You don't have to do it for me. It's always good to get out there and see your VAs for sure. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's
not for me, but I want to do it for them.
Yeah.
Right? I literally, I love these people.
Yeah, dude, it's so good to be there in person with them, and just you can already imagine, right, what that impact and what that effect and just the bonding that happens there, right?
Absolutely,
100%. Looking, what's the biggest breakthrough that kind of changed the trajectory of your business? Right, you can pick any of those lanes, any of those businesses that you're in.
Yeah, I think the biggest breakthrough, and I learned this many years ago after banging my head up against the wall, right? I think that's one of the things that in my experience, like with coaching and consulting contractors, is everything we talk about is nothing is theory, right? Even at Building Raving Fans, I don't say that I think this is going to work. Everything we do is things that I've done, right? So I'm a practitioner, not a theorist, or whatever that term would be. But what I learned in my construction company is it can't all live up here, yep. Right? And that happens very frequently with entrepreneurs. But when I realized that it can't all live up here, and I took everything that lived in my brain in this CRM and actually put it on paper, right? So I did brain dumps. We created the documented processes. Then we created the training videos. Then we delegated. Then we held people accountable. That's what I did in my construction company. Yeah. So my biggest breakthrough was like, hey, you can't do everything. Or if you try to do everything, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah. Right? And I've seen a lot of people like, we all strive to reach success. However, that definition is defined by each person. And a lot of times, sometimes the reward wasn't as great as what they had hoped it would be, right? It just meaning the stress, the chaos, the tiredness, the alcohol, the divorces, right? All of those things to get to that goal happen so often. And a lot of times it's just simply because they didn't slow down to build a business, right? And when I say build a business, it's leverage, right? It's as standard operating procedures, right? It's all of those type of things. So how do you give advice to somebody who's kind of in that mode of, I've grown, so, I got to the point where I'm at, but it's hard for me to step backwards now because I built it to such a high level of success?
Yeah. A couple things there. I would tell them that, again, eventually you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I went through this grind stage every single day. And often I find, Mike, that we entrepreneurs, we tell ourselves that, hey, I'm going to go start this business because of my family, because of my kids, and I'm going to build this business. And often we find ourselves grinding to the fact or to the level at which we actually neglect all of those things. The very reason we started the company, we're now neglect. Yep. I did this in my own business. And I've talked about this from stage, and I've talked about this with clients, and I'll share a story that I think really hammers home the point.
Yeah.
But your kids, if you have children, right? If you have children and you're married, your kids do not care how hard you work. Mm-hmm. They don't care how big of a business you build. Really, they don't care how much money you make. What they care about is your presence. What they care about is your energy. What they care about is how you actually make them feel. And it took my son, who is now, I've got a 16-year-old son, a 14-year-old son, and a 12-year-old daughter. But it took my son, who's now 14, when he was 8, he wrote me a letter and put it on my desk at my home office. And I came home one day and I had this letter there, and I looked at this letter, and it was from my 8-year-old, and it was him pouring his heart out. And it was, Dad, I can remember when you would go outside and throw football with me. You would go outside and do these things with me. You don't even have time to do that. You don't even have time to go do your workouts anymore. And I'm reading this, and I could just feel the emotion that his heart had to be breaking in that moment when he was writing this. Number one, he had the courage to write it. Number two, I literally started weeping like a baby, crying. And my wife is like, what is wrong with you? Are you hurt? Are you injured? And I said, no, I want you to read this letter. And in that moment was kind of my aha, like, they don't care. Yeah. Nor should they. Like, my responsibility and obligation as their father is to love them. Mm-hmm. As the Bible says, to train them up in the ways of the Lord, not of the world. And that was kind of an aha moment. So that would be my advice, is do not sacrifice the very thing or people that you have told yourself you're starting the business for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. And I think every business owner has in some capacity been there, right? Very few do I know that have not had some type of strain in the growth of their business as it pertained to their family. And it's all preventable. Like you said, it's just, we think we know better, right?
Sometimes we have to, we talk about, you grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful, Mike. I tell you, I'm just so thankful and grateful that my wife stood by my side.
Yeah.
Because I gave her probably plenty of reasons to leave. And I know that some marriages, that spouse does leave. And so I'm just grateful that she hung on. And now we just, we're just immensely blessed.
Yeah.
Because I stopped chasing what this visions of grandeur, of success and money and all of this, and turned that to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah. It's such a good story, man. Such a good story. And so many people don't listen to their inner voice, right? And it's so cool that cool, but not cool, but that he had the courage to write you that letter, right? Because I don't know if that happened, right? You probably needed that aha moment, right? For lack of better terms. And
I needed that slap in the face.
Yeah, you got it right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, wow. Man. And we talk about that. We talk about that to this day. And I thank him. I'm like,
sure.
I thank you for having the courage, and thank you for writing the letter, because I don't know where I would be if that hadn't happened.
Yeah. Oh, it's been powerful. Yeah. I've had my kids come up to me with some things too. And I'm just like, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. I was just turning a blind eye to it, but you're 100% right.
Yeah.
What is something entrepreneurs consistently underestimate?
Something entrepreneurs consistently underestimate is their actual ability to perform. I think that many entrepreneurs have these limiting beliefs. Again, I did, right? I also believe that many entrepreneurs allow their past, often past failures, to prevent them from taking action on things. Again, I speak from experience. Not that this is a sob story and I'm looking for anything, but Mike, I've been arrested 7 times before. Mm-hmm. And I say that because when my construction company was doing like this, just rapid, massive growth, I was my own roadblock. Up here, I'm like, you don't deserve this. Mm-hmm. Look at all this past trauma, these failures you've got back here. You don't deserve this success. Yeah. And something very powerful happened, Mike. And I had a man of faith look at me, and he said, you follow Jesus, you believe in God, you're strong in your faith, right? Absolutely. Well, if that is true, and I believe that to be true, when Jesus died for your sins, he forgave you. And if he can forgive you, surely you can forgive you.
Yeah. That's powerful.
And that was that moment where
you're like,
wow. Yeah, exactly. Your past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. And so I believe entrepreneurs, getting back to your question, underestimate what they can actually achieve because of the things that have happened to them in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. What trends are you paying attention to right now?
Yeah, so what I'm paying attention to right now is really automation. I think that, in this world we live, everybody's on this AI hype train. And look, I believe that AI is very important. Like, we have to embrace it. We can't turn away from it. But I don't believe that AI is ever going to replace human connection. Why? Yeah. Because AI can't deploy empathy, can't deploy love. And so I'm still paying attention to those trends, right? What's happening? How can we, again, leverage AI to make us better? But I'm really, paying attention to that. What are the next tools that are becoming available to just help me, become more efficient?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of guests about the people component of it. I was like, hey, where this is doing is allowing the VA to move up the scale of efficiency, right? And being effective for the business. It's not that checking email and all that's not effective for the business. It absolutely is. But if we can get AI that can run our emails, it doesn't replace the VA. It allows the virtual assistant to move up the ladder of
Yes.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Now
it helps them level up their skills and focus on what I call HVAs, high value activities.
Yep, 100%, 100%. What's one piece of a leverage advice you would give someone trying to get to the next level?
Great question. So I think it actually is, whether it's through Sphere Rocket or what other agency. I am confident if you can utilize virtual professionals somewhere, okay, you're doing yourself a disservice, because I've seen the quality of work. I've seen the commitment to the mission. If you're a good leader, right, that's important. If you're a shitty leader or a shitty business owner, like, it doesn't matter if you've got somebody at $4 an hour or somebody at $100,000 a year salary. If you're a poor leader, like, I can't help you, right? I can help you. I can help you become a better leader.
That's right. I'll coach you.
Yeah. But the success, or the secret to success with, using those virtual professionals is this. When my first virtual professional VA virtually walked in, she walked into 100-page playbook, the Building Raving Fans way, right? It documented everything, what we do, why we do it, what's our mission, what's our vision, our core values, all of this broken down by department. Then that might seem overwhelming to somebody listening to this episode. But I'll tell you this, if you get everything here on paper and you can literally hand that off to someone, it shortens the training and they walk in with a sense of confidence, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think when we see a lot of these failing moments, it doesn't matter if it's a virtual assistant, a US-based hire. I've always taken it seriously that if I lose somebody in my organization, it's my fault, right? And most of the time it is, right? Maybe I wasn't giving enough oversight. Maybe I didn't create the right policies, so they took off with some money and I didn't have the right oversight on that, right? Whatever that probably was, I always take it as that's a failure on my part, right? So it's very key that you say that leadership component of it. And so many business owners, because of the affordability of the virtual assistant professionals, is they don't have solid business foundations. They don't have good operating procedures. They don't have a playbook like you have. They just expect somebody, I don't care if it's a US-based person or foreign teammate, it's all going to end in the same result, right? And they're going to walk in and go, this is chaos. What am I supposed to do here?
Mike, well, it goes back to these taskmasters. And often what we see is, and I've coached some of my existing coaching clients on leveraging virtual professionals, right? Refer them. Yeah. But here's what I find is that often an owner's like, oh my gosh, I got all this stuff going on in my head. I live in a state of chaos. Here's all my problems.
All right.
Solve all my problems. And somebody walks in and they're like, well, I'd love to help you solve all these problems, but how do I do that? What does success look like? What's the desired outcome? The same thing happens when people hire marketing agencies. I need leads. Oh my gosh, my phone's not ringing. Here's my problems. I'm like,
Yep.
Imagine 100%. If you started dating someone that way.
Exactly. There's so many.
First, I hear all my problems. Whoa. Right?
That's a great analogy. All right, I want to move us into the lightning round here. So these are quick answers to the question. Favorite business book?
Oh man, The Energy Bus.
All right, love it. Haven't heard that one, so I definitely want to check that out. Best purchase under $100?
Woo, probably these readers. They help me see.
Me too. Favorite AI tool?
I'll go with Claude.
Okay. If I were to open your phone up and see which app is used the most on your tracker, what would that be?
Text messages. I guess that's not really an app, is it? Yeah, probably Facebook.
Application. Yeah, app works. What's your most impactful habit?
Oh gosh, exercise.
All right. Yeah, you are a fit dude. Biggest business mistake.
Woo! Thinking I can do everything on my own.
Yeah, love that. If you could track one KPI for your business, what would it be?
Cash. Money.
Okay, love it. One thing you would never delegate.
Oh, one thing I would never delegate. I think I think just loving all my people.
Yeah, love that. All right, last question I got for you. What is Clifton Muckenfuss definition of leverage?
Definition of leverage?
Yep.
Using others and or tools to make you more efficient, or like what I like to say, nimble.
Love it. Love it. Well, everybody, thank you so much for attending this episode. Like, I love how intelligent he is. You can tell the energy and the passion he has. He clearly is a speaker. The way he used his tonality and inflection, you can definitely tell he's passionate, right? He's a passionate man for sure. So anything you want to wrap up with, but if anybody wants to get a hold of you in any capacity to pick your brain, learn more about your faith, I think you'd be open to that. Any of those things, how would they reach out to you, connect, especially on your Raving Fans? What would that look like?
Absolutely, Mike. Thank you so much for that. You've been an incredible host. I'm grateful for our time spent here today. Anybody listening to this, watching this, wants to reach out to me, Instagram, Facebook, those are the two platforms that I typically am on. You can also, CliftonMuckenfuss.com. That's got some information about my coaching and things like that. And BuildingRavingFans.com show you all about how to automate happiness and gratitude.
Love that. Reach out to me too. As you know, I build a large network through these things and other events that I attend. And I'm always got one of the passions I have, as I say many times on this network, is I want to be a connector, right? I want to be able to have a tool in the back of my tool belt that is somebody I know, like, and trust. Obviously, Clifton is one of those guys, great partner of ours. Also helps us resell on some of the virtual assistants. So you can always reach out to him in that capacity as well. So anyways, thank you so much, Clifton, for joining us today. I don't take it lightly that you guys step away for your business and your family. So I really appreciate you taking your time with us.
I appreciate you, Mike. God bless.
Thank you, sir.